So last time we defined strings, and I showed you how we can get multiple inputs, numerical inputs. You can hit enter and you can go to the next line, still get the input. However, when it comes to strings, each time we hit enter, it just closed. So one of the ways we did is to get each word separately, but that is not a smart idea, because if you have a lengthy sentence, you don't want to sit there and create individual variables. So we went over something called getline. And if we use the getline function, we can get the entire string input from the console. That said, I can go ahead and delete what we did last time. So that's the number part, single sentence, getting words. And all I want is that. Okay, give me a creative sentence. Appropriate. Okay, C++ is not an interpreted language. So C++ is not an interpreted language. It gets the input, puts it as the output perfectly fine. Now if I want to break it and have it in multiple lines, C++, enter. The moment I enter, I just get the first string that I typed. Argument is it still here? Okay, we'll see. So I changed the double quotes to single quotes, and I inserted a blank space. I'm going to enter, in the console, C++ is not an interpreted language. Enter. Still waiting for an input. Why? So I inserted the third argument up here. That is what we call a delimiter. Some like to pronounce it as delimiter. I don't know, you say tomato, I say tomato, well, other way around. I say tomato, you say tomato. C++ is not an interpreted language, enter, still waiting, enter, waiting, enter, waiting, enter, waiting. So that's a problem, correct? Why?
Because you get more space.
Well, that is true, but why is it waiting? I can't hear you, Dan, number one.
You can't just write it like a, input. Just answer up there.
Okay. So think about it this way. Last time when I did not use the blank space as the delimiter, C++, enter, it stopped, printed C++. This time I inserted that, I entered, goes to the next line, I type, goes to the next line, I type, came to the end of the sentence, I entered, I didn't get an output. Carlos?
You just waited for like a blank space?
Because my delimiter is a blank space. I keep on hitting enter button. I'm just introducing more blank space. So going back to the code, to terminate okay. Thank you, Jack. It is printing. I'm just looking at the wrong line. So C++ is a, oh, damn it. Language, how about that? Enter. So that is the one, that is the input. That's the output, but still my output is not in a single line, right? It's not a single statement. I can actually introduce a different delimiter instead of a space. I'm going to use a special character. Let's see if pound works. I'm going to put a pound sign. May or may not work. We'll see. But C++ is not an interpreted language keeps on going. So the delimiter is pound sign. So I'm going to enter pound. That means I have ended my line. So we had all kinds of issues because of the space. Now I used a different letter and it worked for me. The same case, but this time I am going to do C++, pound sign, enter, and I'm done.
This is only if you want to print like separate lines. This is only if you want to print like separate lines.
Only if I want to do things in separate lines. So I want to do line 1, then line 2, then line 3. Let's say you write a paragraph and you want that paragraph to be printed. You can use a delimiter such as pound, you can also use, give me another special character. You pick, huh?
A point, a dot.
A point. That would be a problem because we use full stop, period, right? Something else.
Question mark.
Question mark, okay. Let's see if that works. Enter. C++ is not an interpreted language. Carlos is planning to take Calculus 3.
Not anymore, actually.
Not, okay, not anymore, actually. I am an alien. And then, question mark, enter. Done. So, all, come again?
Sorry. That means that you can't put that specific character if you want to do that sentence.
Yes, that is correct. The moment you put that character, then it is going to end. I'm glad you brought that up.
But if you put it in the middle of the sentence.
I'm glad you brought that up. So, since the symbol that we use is a question mark, if it appears in the input, it'll just terminate. Suppose I want to ask the question, what is the meaning of life? Which has a question mark. But if I put a question mark, it's going to end. What I actually want to type is what is the meaning of life, period, question mark, end that sentence, go to the next line. We are still figuring it out. Good? Okay, how do I end it with the question mark and go to the next line?
So now you use some dot symbol.
So, instead of doing question mark, I'm going to do backslash question mark. No. Right? Okay. What is the meaning of life? I need a question mark. Escaping didn't work. How about I put it within quotes?
It wouldn't. Yeah.
Come again?
It wouldn't.
It would still end because it's a character. So what we can do, since the console is being picky, perhaps I can come up with a symbol such as that. Yes. What is the meaning of life? Strangely. Has the same behavior when I enter or when I put that escape sequence. So it is treating it still as a question mark. So let me try pound question mark. Still didn't work.
What if you put like a deliverer string?
Come again?
You put a deliverer string, or does that be okay?
Good question.
What you could do would be like put a really big string of like fish.
Good question. That's exactly what I'm doing here. So I did question mark, I put backslash, now I put pound, didn't work. So I'm going to put question mark pound question mark. Did I save? Still is an issue. Jag?
Is it saying that the data type is a character?
So, if I put fish, which is a string, oops, save, then run, still is a problem. So whatever we end with has to be a single character. So pound, good choice, as long as we don't use a pound in the input. Other options, yes, Carlos.
Can it be like a single letter, like double, for example?
We tried question mark, word. What if I wanted to do the meaning of life and with a question mark wouldn't work? So we tried to escape it in the console, didn't work. Escape it inside the argument, didn't work. Added a couple of additional characters, didn't work. So the reason why it doesn't work is because the third argument in getline is or has to be a character, a single character. That would be a blank space, never a good idea. Dollar is used in most cases. So what is the meaning of life? Question mark, enter. We are still figuring it out. Enter. Dollar sign, enter. Done. Good. The third argument that you use in getline must be a single character. So I showed you with numerical inputs we can get multiple inputs simultaneously in different lines. White space will not be a problem. With strings, white space will be a problem because space is a string character. If you give multiple spaces, it's just a string with multiple characters. So you can use a string variable for each word, but that's just silly. If you have a paragraph such as what is the meaning of life, we're still figuring it out. Do you really want to create that many variables for each word? No, not a good idea. That's where we did getline. Getline, but the default setting is it'll just get one line. The moment you hit enter, it's just going to end the program. So if you want multiple lines of input, multiple sentences in separate lines, multiple lines of input, then we need to use a delimiter, and that has to be a single character. Good. Now I am going to make a slight change to the code. How much time do we have?
3 minutes.
Okay, we'll make it happen. What am I trying to do?
The user decided.
I'm going to decide as to what delimiter that I want to use. Now, there is a reason why I did not declare the variable as a string. Can you tell me why? We have 52 seconds and the clock is winding down. Very good. It has to be a character.